If you spent any time around code, you've seen hexadecimal without necessarily knowing that's what it was. The color #1A2B3C in a CSS file, or the memory address of 0x7FFF4A20 in a debugger, or even the SHA256 hash that looks like random gibberish after you downloaded a file, all of that is actually done in hex. This video is about what hexadecimal actually is, why it exists, and why programmers reach for it constantly. And the best way to start is to understand the problem that it solves. You know from the last few videos that computers work in binary. Everything is ultimately just a sequence of a bunch of zeros and ones repeated over and over again. Binary is perfect for hardware, but it's terrible for humans. Consider a 32-bit memory address. In binary, that's 32 digits long, something that looks like this. Try reading that. Try copying it accurately. Try spotting a typo in it. It's nearly impossible. And a 64-bit address is twice as bad. Imagine trying those techniques to calculate this into what number or ASCII character it actually correlates to. It's impossible. So, what is the solution? Well, what you want is a way to write binary values in a more compact, human-readable form, without losing the direct correspondence to what hardware it actually stores. You want a shorthand that programmers can write, read, and reason about quickly, but maps clearly back to a binary with no ambiguity and no arithmetic. And hexadecimal is that exact solution, and we're going to talk about it today. So, what is hexadecimal? Hexadecimal is actually base 16. Just like decimal has base 10 and binary has base 2, well, your hexadecimal is actually base 16. Well, you might be wondering, how is that possible? If we only have 10 numeral symbols in our normal writing system, how does hexadecimal get these next 6? Well, what hex does is it borrows 6 letters from the alphabet. The full set of hex digits is this, where once we reach 9 and we run out of digits, we just start counting up. So A's value is 10, then 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Just like any positional number system, each column represents a power of the base. In hex, the rightmost column is 16 to the 0, the next column is 16 to the 1, then the next column would be 16 squared, etc., going on. Or you can think about it like the last column times 16 to get the next column. So this first column would actually be 16 to the 0, which is just 1, then 16 to the 1 is just 16, and then once you get to 16 squared, that's actually 256, and then the next one is 4096. So you can see it goes up very, very fast. So in this example that we have here of 2f, we have a 2 in the 16th place, which would be 2 times 16 to the 1, plus we have a f in the 1's place, or the 16 to the 0. So that would be f. Well, we know that f is actually 15, so we're going to do 15 times 16 to the 0, which we know is 1, but I'll just write it out. So writing the next line, it would just be 2 times 16 plus 15 times 1, which gives us 32 plus 15, or our value of 47. Looking at another example, 1A3 means we have a 1 in the 16 to the second power, or 256. Then we have an A in the 16 to the 1 power, or 16, which we know that A is actually equal to our 10, because once we get to 9, A is the first one that we start with. And then we have a 3 in the 16 to the 0 power, or just 1. So writing this all out, this would be 1 times 256, because we have a 1 in the 256 place. Then we add an A times 16, or 10 times 16, because we know A is 10. And then we have a 3 in the 1's place, so 3 times 1. So adding this up, 256 plus 160 plus 3, and this gives us our grand total of 419. So why base 16 specifically? Here's the key insight that makes hex genuinely useful rather than just another arbitrary number system. 16 is exactly 2 to the power of 4. That means that every single hex digit corresponds to exactly 4 binary digits, no more or no less, and this relationship is perfectly clean for what we want to do. As you can see, we can represent every single hex digit from 0 all the way through F in only 4 bits of data. You can convert between hex and binary digit by digit independently with no carrying or no arithmetic. Just substitute each hex digit for its 4-bit equivalent, or group binary digits in 4s and then substitute each digit for a group hex digit. So for example, take the binary number of 1101, 1010 and split it in groups of 4. And so we have 1010 and 1101. So now we have 2 groups. And then all we have to do is take these groups and look up what they equal. So starting with the rightmost one, this 1010, if we look, this is actually our A right here. So we can write A. And then looking at the other one, we're going to look for 1101. And that is actually our D way over here. So we can write D here. And now we know that this binary number is just DA in hexadecimal. Super easy, super quick. 2 characters instead of 8, and the conversion took about 2 seconds. And going the other direction is just as easy. So let's take the hex, for example, of 3F9. All we're going to do is expand each digit and say, okay, what is 3? 3 looking right here is 0011. We know that F, if we look in our table, is 1111. 9 is 1001. So we know that this hex value represented in binary is simply 0011 1111 1001. And that is our answer. Super easy. There's no calculation required. As long as you have this chart accessible to you or you have them memorized, you can quickly go between the two. And that is exactly why hex exists. It's a direct, lossless compression of binary that humans can actually work with. Before going further, it is worth knowing how hex values are written in practice because you'll see a few different conventions. In most programming languages and low-level contexts, hex values are prefixed with 0x. So the hex value 1A2B is actually written as 0x1A2B. The 0x prefix is just a signal to the reader and to the compiler or interpreter that it follows a hexadecimal number, not a decimal one or a variable name or something. In some contexts, particularly assembly language and certain documentation formats, you may see a trailing H instead. So for example, you might see 1A2B represented as 1A2B with a lowercase h after it. In HTML and CSS color codes, the prefix is a hash symbol. These are all the same exact idea, just a different way of saying, hey, this is hex. Also, I will say capitalization of the letters A through F is typically a design choice. 0x capital FF is the same thing, usually as lowercase ff. Most style guides just pick one and just stay consistent, although I will always argue for the capitalization one, that's just the better convention. One of the most natural fits for hex is representing individual bytes. A byte is 8 bits, which means it can hold 2 to the power of 8, or 256 distinct values, from 0 to 255. In binary, a byte takes 8 digits. In hex, it takes exactly 2 digits, since each hex digit covers 4 bits and 2 of them cover 8. And this is exactly why you'll constantly see hex values in 2-digit pairs when looking at raw data. So for example, you might see FF, 4A, or 00 or C3. Each pair is actually one singular byte. This way is compact, readable, and it maps directly to the underlying storage. Now this FF right here is actually unique. The maximum value of a byte is 255 in decimal or FF in hex. That's a pattern worth recognizing. Anytime that you see FF in a hex context, it means that all bits are ones in that byte. So this FF is simply 1111 1111. Similarly, and this should be more self-explanatory, but 00 is obviously all zeros, so it'd just be 8 zeros. Technically, this is the hex version, and this is the binary version, but again, it's all zeros. Something else that I've just memorized is that 80 in hex is all zeros with just the leftmost bit as a 1, but that's just something you pick up over time. These patterns come up constantly when working with bit mask, flags, and low-level data, and hex makes them immediately recognizable in a way that decimal just doesn't. So where will you actually encounter hex? The first one is at memory addresses. When a debugger shows you where a variable lives in memory, it shows you a hex address, something like this one that I put on the screen. This isn't decorative. Memory addresses are binary values internally, and hex is just the readable form. And like I said before, the 0x prefix is just your cue that you're looking at a memory location. The next one is color codes. RGB colors are 3 bytes, which is 1 for red, 1 for green, and 1 for blue. So each is a byte. And of course, as mentioned before, each of these range from 0 to 255, where 255 is the max of F. And hex represents each channel as 2 digits, giving you a 6-character total color code. So if you're giving something with a hashtag, and then 6 digits after it, you know that this is going to be a color code. And how you read this is, in this example over here, this first channel of FF is your red channel, the 00 is green, and the 00 is blue. So this means we have 255 of red, 0 green, and 0 blue in this, which ultimately, as you could assume, would come out as just pure red. Some other ones worth noticing is a color code of 6 zeros, means we have all the channels set to 0, which is going to be black. And then the opposite of that is all Fs. 6 Fs is going to be white. Once you're comfortable with hex, you can read color codes directly. A value starting with hashtag FF is going to be very bright in that channel. One starting with hashtag 0 is going to be dark. Designers and front-end developers worked with these constantly. The next one is character encodings. So Unicode code points, which is the number assigned to every character in every writing system, are almost always expressed in hex. So for example, the letter A is represented as U plus 0041, where the U plus here is actually the Unicode prefix, essentially the same thing as writing 0x, it's just their way of doing it. The next one is hashes, and the most common one that you'll probably see is the SHA256, where this produces a 256-bit output. Written in binary, that would be 256 digits. In hex, it's only 64 characters in hex. Still long, but it's a lot more manageable than 256. When you verify a file download by checking its hash, you're comparing two 64-character hex strings. Every pair of characters is 1 byte of the hash output. Now the last one I'll mention is file formats / protocols. If you've ever opened a file in a hex editor, you've seen raw binary data represented as a grid of hex byte pairs. File signatures, which is the magic bytes at the start of a file and identify its format, are always discussed in hex. PDF files will always start with the identifier of 25, 50, 44, 46. This lets you know, hey, we have a PDF file, which is the ASCII encoding for actually the characters $PDF. JPEG files start with a different signature, zip files start with a different signatures, etc. Other things like network protocols, binary file formats, firmware, device registers, all of it are discussed and documented in hex. You'll see it all over. Now, moving on, you don't need to be fluent in hex arithmetic the way you are in decimal, but it helps to understand the basics, particularly addition and what carrying looks like in hex. Addition in hex works exactly like addition in decimal or binary. You add column by column from right to left, carrying when the result exceeds the maximum single digit. In decimal, you carry when it exceeds 9, but in hex, you would carry when it exceeds F, which is 15, as we know. So looking at some examples, 9 plus 4 in hex simply gives us 13, and we know from our chart 13 maps to D, so our result is just D. Here, since our result is 13, which is less than 16, we didn't need any carry here, we just write D and that's our answer. Obviously, like stated, this might be represented as 0xD or wherever else you might be. And it could also be padded, but I won't talk too far into that. Next example, let's look at 8 plus A. And so what does this actually mean? So we have 8 plus, we know A is the value of 10, so really we're doing 8 plus 10, which gives us 18. Now, since 18 is larger than 15, we have to carry. So we're going to do 18 minus 16, that gives us 2. So we're going to write 2 in the current column, and that's our outside column. And then we're going to carry a 1 to the next. And that's just going to be brought down because we have nothing else to add there. And so our result is 1, 2. Sorry, I didn't write this very organized, but our result of 8 plus A in hex is actually 1, 2. This is not 12. This is actually the decimal value 18. It's a little confusing because the decimal value of 18 reads as 12 in hexadecimal, which can be very confusing. All right, let's look at a more clear example. So let's add 2b plus 1, 9. So in this first column, we're doing b plus 9, and we know that b is equal to 11. So we'll just write this as a little hint. B is 11. So really we're doing 11 plus 9. 11 plus 9 is 20, and since 20 is more than our current base, we're going to do 20 minus 16, which gives us 4. So we're going to drop 4 down here, and then carry 1, because we only went over once. Moving on to the next column, all we're doing is 2 plus 1 plus that 1 carry. And our result here is 4. So our result of 2b plus 1, 9 is 4, 4, represented as hex, or you can write also 16 to show we're in base 16. You won't actually do this by hand often, but understanding that hex arithmetic is just positional arithmetic with a base 16 demystifies a lot of what you see in low-level code and documentation. A quick note on octal. Hex is by far the most common non-decimal base that you'll encounter, but there are a lot more that show up occasionally. Octal is one of them, and this is actually using a base 8, using digits 0 through 7. Just like hex, octal maps cleanly to binary, since each octal digit corresponds to exactly 3 binary digits. Octal was a lot more common in older computing contexts. You'll encounter it today mainly in Unix file permissions, where permission like, for example, chmod 755, just for example, is an octal number. 7 is 111 in binary, which is read, write, execute. 5 is 101, which is read, no write, execute. But beyond that, octal is relatively rare. Hex has largely completely displaced it for most purposes. So the big takeaway from this, hexadecimal isn't a separate language or a deep mathematical concept. It's simply a notational convenience. It exists because binary is the native language of hardware. Humans are bad at reading long strings of binary, and hex provides a compact representation that converts to and from binary instantly and losslessly. 2 hex digits per byte, 4 binary digits per hex digit, and then 0x prefix to signal the format. That's the entire system. Once it clicks, hex stops looking like a foreign alphabet and starts looking like what it is, binary compressed into something readable. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them down below. I'd be more than happy to answer them. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.